Good weekend, everyone. I hope you're all doing amazing so far this weekend. Hey there, John Henry here, SSFTG. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Welcome to the Weekend Report, where we take a bit of time to look at what's going on in the Upland economy in more of an analytical perspective. How is the economy doing? How is each market sector performing? How is each neighborhood doing? How is housing and structures and Spark and all of that fun stuff? What's the best deal and what's the worst? A lot of these really important factors and pieces of information that a lot of folks may overlook, and that can be the difference between success and failure. If you're looking to join all of us in the Upland metaverse with all this awesome stuff that's going on, especially the couple of the news announcements that we're going to have to cover today, wow, these are really fun. Make sure and click the promo link down in the description, or just head on over into discover.upland.me/SSFTG. When you use the promo link or head to the link there, you get 6,000 starting UPIX to kickstart your adventures in the Upland metaverse. Along with that, because you use the promo link, if you decide to put some cash into the game and buy some UPIX, you get a monster 50% bonus to your first UPIX purchase with a cap of 50,000 UPIX, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that. Of course, you know the drill. We can't kick things off without talking about the Woodhood merch store. Make sure to swing over to ssftg.live/merch and check out everything we have to offer here. Not only do all the shirts and gear and mugs and cups and notebooks and stickers and everything else look absolutely amazing, but 50% of the profit that we generate from sales on the merch store go towards our chosen autism charity of the month. And for the month of August, we are focusing on the Autism Science Foundation. So make sure to swing on over here and check it out, because not only do you get to look incredible with some of this epic gear, but you're also helping an amazing cause. As far as the news announcements for the week are concerned, we had our first one on August 8th, and that was the Rio huge property expansion announcement. Of course, that was 20-some thousand properties added, with 22% of them being dedicated to FSA. So a lot of really, really interesting stuff going on with this property expansion. Not only is this property expansion in Rio, which a lot of people are hunting for in general, but this also had a lot of known about collections ahead of time. Remember, all of the collections were announced in Rio, even though not all of the zones were available to be minted yet. In this case, this most recent expansion did have some of those included, like Estacio. That was in a collection area and minted out almost immediately. Jardín Botánico is another one that was in a collection. It was a very large area, and there were some send issues during the minting side of things. Without going off the rabbit hole on frustrations and all of that, they did quickly pause and get it all taken care of. But Jardín was a little bit bigger, took some more time to sell out, but that also quickly sold out. Then there was also Tijuca, which was very large, took a little bit longer to sell out. Again, there were some send issues, but once they got taken care of, that was pretty much gone. There were a few other hidden ones inside of there that were also of interest with the exclusive collection on Neymar, however you pronounce that exclusive street collection. Man, these pronunciations are going to kill me. Either way, we knew about the collections ahead of time, which is very reminiscent of the days of old, good old Upland 1.0, 0.09, whatever you want to call it. That allowed a lot of people to know what the collections were ahead of time. Everybody focused on those areas, and once those minted out, it kind of dispersed from there. But the thing is, Rio was such a sought-after area that I don't think it really made much of a difference. I mean, sure, like Estacio sold out almost immediately. It's a really small place, and it was close to where a lot of people had properties already. Not a big surprise. But some of these other ones, like Jardín Botánico, you had to really kind of guide your Uplander to make sure that they landed in the appropriate place with enough time. That was definitely a game that a lot of people played. So those send issues that came up were very frustrating for a lot of people, because they were trying to time things correctly, and it might not have worked so well. We did find out, though, that you could send to your own properties, so you'll probably see a lot of people selling spider webs of properties as they made their way up the map. They did have those issues with sends causing people a lot of frustration, so they made travel out of Rio free again, and that was kind of nice, especially considering you're looking at like $4 or $5 to fly in. A lot of people flew in specifically for this expansion and possibly even missed a lot of it because of these send problems. It's definitely a good thing that they comped it in that way. At least give us something for the stress, right? That was a good call. The next announcement, which is actually going on right now as we speak, and that is the auction for MV Motors. We've got a bunch of new vehicles coming for sale. You can find that all with the registration button, Get UPIX, in the top corner. Inside there, you'll be able to register for them. This is obviously done because registration was on Friday and closed on Saturday. That's done. The sale is already taking place. People have already bought them or buying them, and likely they have probably already sold out, right? If I close this out, did they already sell out? Let me go up here. Oh, no, there's still a few left. They are kind of expensive. You'll notice I am not in line for any. Some of these are like 2 days away. Thankfully for me, I do already have the Orange Beast, so I've already got my vehicle. But it's always nice to see, maybe I can grab another one. I'm a mile and a half out of all these, so not good for me as far as timing is concerned. Hopefully, though, if you were looking to get your hands on a vehicle, you were able to get in some better positioning. The next announcement that we had on the 12th was Spark Week for August. Of course, August, starting on the 15th until the 22nd, has the Status Up Spark rewards. So if you've been waiting to level up, make sure my head's out of the way, this is the week to level up, starting on the 15th. Don't do it early, because doing it during Spark Week is when you get those bonuses, and those bonuses can add up a heck of a lot. I mean, look at Director to Executive, 1.2 Spark. The value of one Spark is $460. You want to talk about a nice incentive, and all you're doing is leveling up? I mean, hello? You do not want to miss that. So make sure to save it for after the 15th, so that way you get those rewards. But there were a few caveats for this Sparked Treasure Week, Treasure Hunting Week, and all of that fun stuff, more in regard to the Riot mode. They talked about decreased spawn rates in last month's Spark Week, and how they removed Riot mode to try to kind of balance that Spark distribution. That is still in effect, that's not going to change, and players are not going to have a Riot mode boost or anything like that during Spark Week. That said, in addition to that, they are also decreasing the spawn rate and tweaked reward values for sparked up treasures. This way, they're trying to kind of further reduce the amount of spark that can be earned, because they believe it's being distributed a bit too freely, was the term that was used. As a result, obviously, these changes are going to be going into effect, but we know that treasure hunting is not a stranger to changes. It's had a lot of changes going on, and they're doing a lot of tweaking. In fact, a lot of the tweaking has been incredible for it. A lot of people have built out treasure hunting maps specifically because of these new tweaks. Myself, I am looking forward to doing that too. So it's really going well. But expect these changes to be persistent. They're going to keep coming. They're going to keep changing. And that's just the result of them kind of, growing pains and making sure that everything is working the way that it should. On the 12th as well, they announced the Stadium Project. Build football stadiums in Upland, and that way you can win mementos. Really cool way to kind of introduce the NFLPA and kind of have a cross-promotion, especially considering that you're building football stadiums. Kind of a cool way to do it. So how it works, right? Don't worry, you don't need to operate a jackhammer or any of that fun stuff, right? All you have to do is stake Spark on the stadium of your choice, and there are a few of them that we'll go over in just a second here. So the launch date, when you can do this, it's already going, right? Construction is underway. That's already rocking and rolling. Make sure my head's out of the way. The end date is of the 8 stadiums, so there are 8, have individual closing dates, which will occur when the construction is complete. Pretty obvious, right? The minimum spark required to stake is 0.01, so it doesn't require a huge amount. In fact, that's just a single weekly login reward, so it's awesome that they're doing it that way. Stadium locations, there are 8 different stadiums, which we'll go over the different locations in a second. And the prizes for this are 10 2021 2 Fire Mementos bundle per stadium, right? So depending on how big into NFLPA and mementos and legits and all of this stuff, this is huge, right? Like that's a big deal and something that you're definitely going to want to check out. For each stadium drawing, 10 winners are going to receive one 2021 2 Fire Memento bundle. And if you don't know what mementos are, those are the rare one-of-one legits, and those commemorate specific players and their performances over the season. 2021 mementos cover player performances for the first 13 games, and each bundle contains a 2-pack of those mementos. And that can include anything from a cap, a jersey, a game ball, and some of them can also have 2 fire stats. So this is a really big deal if you're big into collecting. The stadium locations, you can find all of those a little bit further down the list. I'll leave it right here, so if you need to, you can pause it and they'll be right there. But they're going to be in Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, Las Vegas, Nashville, New Orleans, New York, and San Francisco. Make sure to get on at least one of them, or all of them, if possible. It is only 0.01 after all. I know it can be a little bit difficult trying to get your place in line, but if you watch the blockchain and watch when they complete and time it properly, you can get in there without too much trouble. And then the big one, which I promise I didn't gloss over. I know a lot of people probably started punching their monitor like, wait, John, back up. What do you mean? You missed two of them. They're big ones. I know they're definitely big one. We're talking community governance updates. We're talking home addresses. We're talking some serious stuff here. Going into this is going to make this video a little bit longer, so bear with me, but there's some really, really cool stuff that we got to touch base on. If you aren't familiar with nodes and the concept of them, there's also a small quick guide on nodes that, and you know, kind of what they're all about and all that fun stuff. I'll link that in the corner for you if I remember to. This is going to be a long video, so if I remember to. But here in Upland, I run the Woodhood node based in Sherwood Forest, Detroit, and we have an absolutely amazing group of people. It's growing every day, constantly, and we've made it to the top 10 in the home addresses to be registered so far. There you can see it right there, baby. Make sure my head's not in the way. I've got a ginormous head. I'm really conscious about it today. I don't know why, but Detroit, Sherwood Forest, 21 properties so far, and that is absolutely incredible, especially considering a few different aspects. But remember, home addresses are more than just a competition to see how many we can get and all that. That's really cool, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it's important for a few different reasons. First off, this gives you a home in Upland. It's a place where you can park the Meta Rover, right? Later on, decorations. If you're purchasing NFTs, maybe you're buying NFTs on the Wax blockchain and you're importing them into Upland. Maybe you have a bunch of different collection pieces like the Upland cards is an example. Or maybe you just have a bunch of block explorers that you want to display, or a bunch of mementos that you want to hang on your interior wall at your home. These are the kinds of things that having a home base is going to allow you to do. Now, some of these aren't in the game yet, like being able to hang a jersey on your wall, or even being able to go in your home yet, but these things are being added right around the corner. I mean, think about what they're already implementing. We've got factories. They've created microstructures now with small houses and all of that. And along with that, there's factories that people are going to be building decor. Well, they're going to be working on smaller and smaller and smaller things. So this is a big deal. It goes so much further than that, though, because this introduction of home residences, it also brings the ability to create community governance, right? That's the whole point of the picture at the top of the announcement. Governance. We know that we're going to have things to vote on in the very near future, likely, with big Upland economic updates. This kind of thing is definitely paving the way for that to take place at all. Now, to set a home residence, it's really, really easy. All you have to do is head on over into Upland, click on your Block Explorer picture in the top left, and then set your Upland home address right here. And make sure my head, again, is not in the way there, but you can set it there. Mine is currently set to Woodhood HQ at 19540 Parkside Street in Sherwood Forest. Repping the Woodhood. Now, the cool thing is, when you do this, not only are you setting a home address, but you also get a really, really cool profile picture that you can download, and that's going to show you this, right? Not only does it show you your Block Explorer, and if you have a custom one, which I still have yet to do, I really like the Genesis Trader one. It fits me. It'll also show Detroit. It'll tell you the neighborhood that you're in, so Sherwood Forest, and the color of the background and all that stuff. And I'm sure as time goes on, there will be even more things that you can do with this. Personally, I downloaded mine and used it as my Discord picture because I think it's epic. A few things to note about your home address. When you're setting a home address, you can only have one, which should kind of make sense, only having one home. I know some people have vacation homes and all that, whatever, but in Upland, you can only have one. And it has to be in a building that is residentially sanctioned, right? So you can't live in a factory. It doesn't have any residential space. Along with that, you can't live in a metaventure. So unfortunately, even though in the real world, in those downtown strips, you'll have the apartment buildings above the shop, well, that's not in the game yet. Maybe in future, though, that is something that will probably happen. We'll see. Another caveat to be able to set up a home at all in Upland is that you have to have the Uplander status or higher, and you have to have your KYC verifications complete. After setting your home address, there is a 24-hour cooldown that you will be able to then change your address to something else. So if you accidentally choose the wrong one, if you've got a whole bunch of different properties or whatever, you can fix the mistake in 24 hours. It's nice that they have that ability. But there is a big caveat to this, because when you change your home address, there is a 30-day cooldown before you can vote on governance topics within that neighborhood. So, something to be mindful of if you're going to be jumping your residents all over the place. You're not going to be able to vote unless you leave it there for 30 days. If I had to guess when we're going to get our first votes, I would guess that it's going to be after 30 days. Taking a look at the Woodhood, good old Sherwood Forest, there are a lot of structures in here. There are actually 76 completed structures in here. Now remember, they have to be residential, so if we go over here, there are a few factories that won't work, but the majority of these are residentially zoned. And of those, remember, we had 21 that have home addresses set here already. So that means that we're already at 27.63% retention for home addresses. That is absolutely incredible. Now, my personal goal, I would love to see over 30. We have 21 registered at the moment. Getting over 30 would be absolutely amazing. And if we can hit a stretch goal of over 50, that would be bonkers. That's a huge amount of home addresses when you consider the percentage. Now, this is where things get really fun, because there's actually already a plan in play, and if you're in the Discord server, you've already seen some rumblings of this, but thank you to our incredible Woodhood hero, JesterRob33, for the idea, the huge amount of UPX to kickstart this all to get it going, and just flat out for being an incredible asset to the community and an awesome human being. We are going to be running a monster raffle for Woodhood property owners to set their home addresses to the Woodhood in Sherwood Forest, Detroit. It's already over 70,000 UPX. Let me pull up the sheet real quick here and go into our Woodhood home base giveaway. This is crazy. So first off, we already have the Seed Bank Charitable Trust that added 23,000 UPX to this one. And we have JesterRob33 adding 100,000 UPX to get this going as well. Now you'll notice there are a few other people in here. Like I said, this is something that we talked about in the Discord server already. So if you were lucky enough to get in there, you already have your early entry. And if you're a farmer, you have it even easier. Now you may have noticed that extra little box over there. What's that other 73,000 UPX? Well, that's what makes this raffle so amazing. Not only do we have a monster winner's pot, 73,000 UPX going to the winner, but 50% of all of the UPX that we generate from this is going to get used to donate towards our chosen autism charity of the month. And again, just as a refresher, for August, we are focusing on the Autism Science Foundation. Now, I know they're not going to take UPX as a donation, so we will have to mint and sell in USD. I'll do my best to make sure that we get as much out of it as possible, and that way we can drop a monster donation towards our autism charity for the month. To enter the raffle, it's incredibly easy. First off, you have to be in the Woodhood Discord. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get involved or do anything along with this, or know when you get chosen or win anything. It's very important to get in the Woodhood Discord. Again, link is down in the description if you need that. You don't have to be in the Woodhood to get in the Discord server, so even if you're not in the Woodhood, make sure to jump on in so you don't miss out on this kind of stuff, or at least get a heads up when this is going to happen. The next thing that you do is you obviously have to have a home or a property owned in Sherwood Forest, Detroit, the Woodhood node, and have a structure built on your property. Very important, because the next step is going to be setting your home address to that property, right? You've got to set your home address to somewhere within the node. As long as your home address is in Sherwood Forest, you're good to go. Then the third and final step is to go on over into the Discord server's raffle area for this. It's the home base raffle entry room in Discord. I know it's a long name, but you won't miss it. And then from there, you can enter in by doing either a direct UPX transfer or a burner property, depending on if you need that route. Sometimes the UPX isn't old enough in your account to do the transfer. A raffle ticket starts out at 1,000 UPX, but remember, this does have half of it going towards our chosen autism charity of the month. So, you are definitely more than welcome to overpay for your raffle tickets as long as you hit the 1,000 UPX minimum. As we can see, we've had some that are doing 100,000 UPX. We have a few folks doing 5,000, 10,000, 3,000, 1,000, all over the place, so that anybody can get involved at all different sizes. One raffle ticket still is one person. It doesn't matter if you bought one ticket for 100,000 UPIX or one ticket for 1,000 UPIX. It's still one ticket. That's how it works. There's only one ticket, one person, just to clarify. On September 1st, we will draw our winner from the list of people who have bought raffle tickets and have their home addresses set. You do not want to miss this one. The winner's pot's already at 73,000 UPIX. The autism charity pot is the other 73,000 UPIX on this. It's only 1,000 UPIX to get involved, and all you got to do is set your home address to Sherwood Forest in Detroit, and you're ready to rock and roll. Super, super easy. Get involved. Get those raffle tickets. This is a big one. Then we get to jump on over into the marketplace analytics and see what's going on in the Upland metaverse from more of an analytical side of things, right? Now, along with this, before we get into this fun stuff, make sure to jump on over on the Twitter side if you're following us over there, SSFTG, Woodhood, or of course you can just follow at Slingshot Future. We've got it there. But we're following along with the day-to-day stats as well and seeing how Upland is doing from that perspective. So if you're a big fan of the really, really nerdy analytical stuff, make sure to follow on that perspective too. You can get the scoop. This week so far, we have a 30-day transactional volume sitting at 2.5 billion, and overall, we're seeing a relatively deep pullback in terms of the overall movement. But here's the thing. I don't think over the next few days that we're going to be looking at a very even a close to the same kind of chart. We had that drop of micro houses. We have Spark coming in. We've got all kinds of people who are now realizing, oh crap, I should have bought a structure, or I should have been building a structure. Now I need one, and everybody's in emergency mode. There is going to be a huge amount of transactional volume and swaps that are going to be taking place over the next few days. If we take a look at the minted versus unminted properties from last time to this time around, we were sitting at 475,987. And yes, that was after a lot of the expansion properties and all of that. Well, guess what? After this latest property expansion of 20-some thousand properties, we're sitting at 468,941. That's still a decrease of 1.48%. It doesn't matter how many properties they throw at this thing. They just gobbled up. All right, and now we can jump on over into the zone-by-zone analysis. Starting off first with Bakersfield. Last week was sitting at $5. Now it's at $4.94, down 1.2%. The UPIX floor going from 7,996 to 7,699. A little bit of a flippy flop there. That's down 3.71%. The arbitrage between them underneath 3,000, but it is on the higher end, sitting at 2,759. Not too bad. Realistically, Bakersfield's really calm and quiet. It's either zeros or not a whole lot going on. There is a 20% increase in West Bakersfield on the USD side. Otherwise, it's all just moves of 4 or 5%. In Bronx, we have the USD floor going from $8.15 to $7.79, down 4.42%. And the UPIX floor, $12,741 to $12,500. Really, really nice arbitrage here, $4,710. The USD collection side on the lower side of things not doing too well, but the upper portion in the ultra rares and rares doing really good, up as much as 32% in Grand Concourse, and some of the others, Sedgwick and Fordham, up 12%, 15%, looking pretty good. On the UPIX floor, a little bit of a flip-flop, the higher end not doing so well, but there is a 29% increase in Riverdale on the rare collection side there. Otherwise, everything else is more on the lower side to possibly down. Brooklyn's USD floor going from $5.20 to $5.04. That's down 3.08%. The UPIX floor, though, really nice gain there, $6,500 to $77.77. That's up 19.65%. Very, very nice lift there. And look at the UPIX floor across all of the lower collections. 61% in Fifth Ave, and some of the others 11%, 9%. The arbitrage is sitting at 2,737 on the base floor, but I mean, wow, the UPIX side is doing really good. At least on the lower portion. The upper band in Dumbo's down 40%. I mean, it happens. There's always going to be pullbacks here and there. On the USD side, it also is doing pretty well. Bay Parkway is doing awesome. Police stations are doing great. Even the lower end portions aren't too bad. The middle is kind of what's having trouble. Let's jump on over into Chicago. We're back. And Chicago, I mean, it's okay. It's having some trouble. It's got some issues on the UPX side. The base floor is going from $4 to $3.98. Not a big deal, down 0.5%. The UPX floor going from $6,198 to $6,100, down 1.58%. The arbitrage is getting closer to that 2,000 mark, which is always a bit of a bummer, sitting at 2,120. On the collection front, that's when things get a little bit spicy. The one big one, I mean, obviously, up 163% in Greektown, going from $1,900 to $5,000. Pretty big jump. All of the others, though, pretty not so much as good, right? I mean, we've got 0% down, some are down 15%, down 7%, 16%. We do have a 13% increase in Andersonville, so there are some that are doing okay. But even the UPX side of things has a lot of downward moves as well. Now, if you've been waiting to buy into Chicago and you're waiting for some good sales, when you see them down 20% in some of these good lower collections, that's usually a pretty good time. Cleveland is seeing an increase going from $4.88 to $5, up 2.46%. The UPX floor is unchanged at $7,500. That gives us a flat $2,500 UPX arbitrage, which is always really nice. Still not above the 3,000s, but not too bad. Cleveland is always usually pretty kind of stable in the middle. That said, well, the USD floor, we do have some shakers and movers here and there, but for the most part, relatively calm and quiet. And if it is moving, it's moving quite a bit. We've got Glenville down 25%, and that's really the only big mover down. Kind of nice, right? On the upside, though, we've got a 33% increase in Old Brooklyn, 88% increase in downtown, and 16% increase in Lorraine Ave. Those are some big moves on the USD side, but when you couple that with the fact that the UPX floor, I mean, look at the UPX prices. Those are going really, really well, too. I mean, the worst down one is 2.35%. Everything else, 33%, 29%, 45%. Cleveland is absolutely killing it. On the Detroit side of things, from $3 to $3, the forever unchanging $3 USD floor. The UPX side of things, $32.40 to $32.40, which means that we still maintain the tightest arbitrage in all of Upland, 240 UPX sitting between the two. On the collection side of things, a lot of back and forth. We've got things that are up a decent amount, down a decent amount, but nothing too nuts. The largest losers, 14% down in Corktown. The largest gainer in the USD side, not as much, 7.5% up in Springswell. That's about it. Springwells, rather. I promise, I'm from Michigan. I know. On the right side of things, with the UPX floor, we've got a little bit better movement, but again, even there, the ebb and flow is still obvious, and it's just a little bit wider. Not a real big surprise when we're considering that it's in UPX compared to USD. In Fresno, the USD floor going from $5 to $4.94, that's down 1.2%, but the UPX side of things, $6,900 to $6,999, that's up 1.43%. Arbitrage between the two, $2,059. Collections on the USD side, just don't look, and then we'll pretend that doesn't exist, and we'll look on the other side. Oh crap! just don't look at the collections. Oh no! Fresno is not having a good time right now. They are getting beat up hard. The lower end collections aren't doing too bad, but to be fair, I mean, look at where Fresno's at right now. $4 or $5, 6,000 UPX. I mean, these are some pretty steep discounts from just a few months ago. Kansas City's USD floor going from $5.89 to $5, down 15.11%. Not so happy there, but the UPX floor, not too bad, $8,064 to $79.98. That's only down 0.82%. The arbitrage, oh man, they just lost the $3,000, $29.98. Just missed it. Overall, not too bad, especially when we're coming off the backs of Fresno. I mean, this looks a lot better. The floor in USD being down 15% on the bottom end isn't really that big of a surprise when we consider that we're going into Spark Week and people are going to be wanting to buy Spark and all that fun stuff. That's not a huge surprise. What is kind of interesting is how most of these collections are either up or down just a little bit. The USD floor's got a little bit more. But then notice on the right side there, 21% down in Blue Hills, and then 16% over here in Foxtown East, and 18th and Vine is up 17%. So it seems like the lower end UPX collections are the ones that are getting sold off, while the upper end collections are the ones that are getting bought up. Well, as the saying goes, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and thank God, because the price action here sucks. I mean, it's not really that big of a surprise, right? I mean, let's think about this. This is the second to latest release, aside from Rio, It's Vegas. So, of course, this is going to be the one that gets dumped when everybody's trying to get UPX liquid. Why would they want to get UPX liquid? Well, we just had a huge sale of cars and vehicles. Kind of makes sense, right? Now, after all of that takes place and people realize that they didn't get their place in line or they're not going to be able to buy it or whatever, that UPX is going to have to transition back into the market once again. But until then, the UPX side is not looking too good. The USD floor does have a shining light with the Arts District up 34%. That's about it. Next up over in Los Angeles, which again is just always such a waste of time trying to even fit that on the screen. But the USD floor going from $5.25 to $4.79, down 8.76%. And the UPX floor unchanged at $6,420. The arbitrage between the two, $1,630. The collections have a whole lot of back and forth going on. Some down as much as 32%. Some up as much as, well, the upside not looking as good, but at least 28%, 19%. Decent movers on both sides, but overall, a lot of volatility. Over on the Manhattan side of things, this one is nuts. But again, this happens every time people are trying to get UPX liquid or USD liquid. Manhattan always is the one that kind of gets dinged because that's where people park their cash if they're looking to just leave it somewhere for a while, outside of collections, of course. The USD floor going from $65 to $60, that's down 7.69%, and the rest of the USD floor is basically down across the board except for 22% up and 57th Street. There are a few other shining lights in there, but for the most part, it's down quite a bit. On the UPX side of things, $99,599 to a low of $84,000 so far. The arbitrage, still incredible, sitting at $24,000. It is Manhattan after all. But that's the arbitrage is about the only good thing on here. Maybe that USD floor over in 57th. But that's about it. Nashville bringing up the tail here, $5 to $4.88, down 2.4%, but the UPX floor is $72.99, up to $78.75. That's an increase of 7.89%. The arbitrage, man, that 3,000 level is just real tough to get over. It's $29.95 this time around. Here again, the collections are having an incredibly difficult time. They're down across the board on the USD side, except the one, which is doing incredibly well in 12th Ave. That's up 98.57%. Everything else is flat to down. Go figure, right? On the UPX side of things, again, we know the base collection is up. The rest are kind of up, down, a little bit all over the place. 15% up in Fatherland. We've got 39% up in Nashville Murals. Jackson Boulevard at 4% up. But we also have 26% decreases in 12th. There are a lot of different back and forth volatility moves here. New Orleans coming in $5 to $5 unchanged, and the UPX floor basically unchanged, $89.90 to $89.00. That's down 1%. The arbitrage looking great, $3,900. The collection side of things, here again, we've got a lot of really, really big moves. The most notable one, jazz venues down 52.5%. Big pullback on that end of things. On the UPX side, though, total flip-flop. The UPX side's actually up 72.22%. So total flip-flop. Everything else, again, volatility is kind of the name of the game. We've got a lot of stuff going on that people need liquidity for. So, well, we're seeing it. Over on the Oakland side of things, $5.50 to $5.50 unchanged on the USD floor, but the UPX floor $98.88 to $97.50, down 1.4%. The arbitrage rock solid, $4,250, and that's where things start flipping a little bit here, because I mean, if we thought the volatility in some of these other markets was a lot, look at it over here. We're talking 72% moves in things like UC Berkeley and 21% down in Broadway, 61% up in historic Oakland. There's some big moves going on over here. Now, on the UPX side of things, it's a little closer to like 20%, that kind of stuff. But some notable ones, Oakland Libraries basically going off sale from $2.4 million to $100 million. That's up almost 4,000%. On Queens, we've got $3.69 to $3.45, down 6.5%. The UPX floor, $4,750 to $4,750, unchanged, with the arbitrage sitting at $1,300. The collections here, again, in the USD side getting whacked pretty hard, but the lowest end ultra rare collection Queens Curator, that one's up 21%. Everything else not doing so good. On the UPX side of things, mostly down. We have a few that are up. The largest one up 7% in Long Island City. That's really about it. Everything is kind of getting beat up a little bit, and this is, well, it's included. Rio de Janeiro. We knew the volatility here was going to be immense, and it did not disappoint by any means. Obviously, there are a few on here that are brand new that we didn't have price action from before because they were just released in that expansion. So things like Tijuca, however you want to say that, along with Estacio and Jardín Botanico and some of those aren't going to have any stats to relate to, but next week on the weekend when we do the review, they will, and we should be ready to rock and roll from there. That said, on the USD side of things, going from $6.50 to $4, down 38.46%. The UPX floor, $79.99 down to $62.71, down 21.6% there. And the arbitrage, even with those big declines, still sitting at $2,271. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, if we're looking at some of the others, it's down across the floor. The only one that's doing really, really good is Samba Schools. What a shock, right? The ultra rare in the latest drop is doing well. Weird. So Samba Schools are doing incredibly well. That's up 76.57% on the USD floor and 33% on the UPX floor. 11% on the UPX floor is also up in Avenida Rio Branco, but that's really about it. Everything else is down and down pretty hard. The Rutherford floor in the USD side going from $38.99 to $39.90, up 2.33%. In the UPX floor, big dip here, $68.99.9. One extra 9 there, down to 49,000, down 28.98%. Arbitrage still looks great at 9,100, just a really big pullback on the UPX floor. If we're looking at the collections, we've got a 28% increase in Carmita Ave on the USD floor. On the UPX side, they're all down, including Carmita Ave, and, well, not doing so well on that side of things. So it seems like people are parking their USD in Rutherford, but man, they're cashing out on the UPX side. San Francisco, next up on the list, USD floor $18.97 to $16.10, down 15.13%. Ouch. And the UPX floor $26,400 to $25,600, down 3.03%. The USD floor is doing miserably here as well, just like all the other places. Welcome to the party, San Fran. However, we do have the rare established in 2019 collection up 137%, which rightfully so, right? The established collection for Upland, I feel like that should just always be kind of going up, you know? I feel like that one, out of all of them, should have maybe even a little bit of higher ROI, whatever. On the UPX side of things, not doing very well, although we do have Haight-Ashbury up 25%. That's really about it as far as the upswing goes. Arbitrage on the floor looking pretty good at 9,500, but otherwise it's down here too. Over in the Santa Clara side of things, we've got the floor going from $20.50 to $19.50, down 4.88%, and the UPX floor finally pulling back at $36,900 to $35,000, down 5.15%. The arbitrage still looks absolutely immaculate at $15,500, as it usually does. On the collection side of things, we've got a 66% largest increase in Southwest Limited Collection, and on the UPX side of things, not so bright and shiny. In fact, the largest gainer is only 3.95% in West Central. Everything else is down. And we finally made it over into Staten Island, which is also seeing some crazy price reductions if you consider from like a month ago. But $4.88 to $4.90, that is down, or I'm sorry, up 0.41%. The UPX side of things is down $79.98 to $74.99, down 6.24%. The arbitrage still looks pretty good, $2,599, right in the middle of the road there. On the USD side of things, 28% decrease in Tottenville and a 61% increase in historic Richmond Town. On the UPX side of things, the largest gainer is only 4% in St. George. Everything else is down and getting a little bit beat up there too. Overall, there is a ton of stuff going on in the Upland metaverse. We've got some incredible home addresses and raffles going on with that. Make sure to jump into the Woodhood Discord, get involved with that. You do not want to miss that one. It is huge, and it's going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Really fun. Get those structures built, and remember, those micro houses, those only take 500 spark hours to build, and they have a max of 24, I believe, spark. You could technically build one a day with 21 spark if you had that much spark allocated, or at least the resources. Remember, there are things like the Upland Spark Exchange, USE, or the House of Spark, and a lot of other places you can rent it from and get that done real fast. Outside of that, though, that's going to do it for this one. I hope you had a fantastic time getting a little bit of a fill-in on this weekend review for the Upland Metaverse and everything that's going on. I know it was a little bit longer because there is a metric ton of stuff going on, especially for us folks who are running and operating nodes, home residencies and stuff. Holy cow. Now, I know this is a big one and there's a lot of stuff that we covered, so if you have any questions, make sure to get those covered, drop them in the comments below, or jump into the Woodhood Discord and get them taken care of there so we can make sure that you're all set. Until the next one, though, have fun out there in the metaverse. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you were able to get some of those vehicles out there that dropped today. Maybe we'll see you on the racetrack with those. And until the next one, we'll see you all then. Thanks.